Have you ever wondered how a normal kid suddenly becomes Alex Honnold and Free Solo El Capitan? Or how a normal guy like me suddenly is summiting the highest mountain in Europe? I will introduce you to a life-changing system that has transformed ordinary people into unstoppable forces that are able to conquer all their fears, from the fear of traveling alone to the fear of scuba diving or rock climbing, all of them. But first, let me share a short story with you that will prove how this system can be used by anyone, regardless of your age, your fitness level, or your skills. This is Aconcagua. It's the highest mountain in the Americas. It is 7,000 meters high. To give you an idea, Aconcagua is 7,000 meters high. Everest is 8,800 meters high. And that was my first ever hiking camping trip in my life. I mean, what was wrong with me? It couldn't go well, and it didn't. This is me after being diagnosed with cerebral edema. I was at 5,500 meters high, and at that altitude you don't have much oxygen, and there wasn't enough oxygen coming to my brain. So I woke up with a very strong headache, with nausea, feeling sick. And these were just the first symptoms. The next ones would be, I wouldn't even remember my name or remember where I was. So I couldn't go any further. I couldn't stay at that altitude anymore. I had to go down. I was super sad, as you can see. But weirdly enough, I was lucky. Lucky because as Aconcagua is the highest mountain in the Americas, it was packed with mountaineers. It was packed with regular people, accountants, nutritionists, web designers, just normal people summiting Aconcagua and getting ready for Everest. That's when I learned that anyone could use this system. The system has 4 steps. The first step, it takes me back to 1 year after that expedition in Aconcagua. It was when I went to take my scuba diving certification. I was really excited. I was super happy. I immediately enjoyed. As I was talking to the divers, they were telling me about scuba diving at night. And they were telling me about the experience when you were diving in that pitch black ocean where you could see nothing. Just when they were describing that experience to me, my hands were immediately getting sweaty, and I couldn't imagine myself doing a dive at night. And that's your first step. The first step, you have to set your goal. My goal at that point in time was, I need to do scuba diving at night once, at least once. Leave me a comment telling me what's the goal you're setting for yourself. Can you imagine? They were talking to me about going 30 meters deep. 30! I was like only diving at 14 meters deep, and now they're talking about 30 meters deep. And there was an image that I couldn't stop thinking. I couldn't stop imagining a shark circling around me, ready to attack me. But because it was dark, I wouldn't even see where the attack was coming from. And that image, I couldn't stop thinking about that. It was super scary. Just to think again, my hands get sweaty. And third of all, I don't like darkness in general. Like if I'm in my place and then suddenly I have to go to the kitchen and there's everything dark in the middle of the night, I'm scared. So let alone if I'm diving 30 meters deep. And this is precisely our second step. The second step, you have to list all the factors that scare you about that goal. So when you're thinking about the goal you just set, which are the things that scare you about that? Which are the factors that you feel you were afraid of? For some reason, when I go through this list and I think about the items, item number 1, diving up to 30 meters deep. Item number 2, the sea creatures circling around me about to attack me. And item number 3, the darkness in itself. The item number 2 is the one that scares me the most. I can't stop thinking about it. So every time I think about these items, item number 2 is the one I'm most worried. And that's your step number 3. You have to recognize in your list which item or items are the ones that really scare you, that scare you the most. To me, it was this clearly the shark surrounding me and getting ready to attack me at night. Step 4 takes me back to Indonesia. I was in the Gili Islands, which is a paradise for divers. And I was scuba diving there, and I remember the instructor offered me to do a dive at night, and I immediately said no. But then after 1 or 2 dives, I thought, you know what? Like, why don't I conquer this fear and overcome this fear as well? I knew I was afraid of the sea creatures lurking around me and attacking me, right? That was the number one scariest items in my list. So I started diving in the same spot for 3 or 4 times, exactly in the same place in the Gili Islands. And then suddenly, I was getting used to all the sea creatures that were around me. I was seeing huge turtles, like 1.5 meters long turtles, beautiful. Corals, the fish, but all of them were exactly the same. I never saw sharks. The divers were telling me they'd never seen sharks there. So for some reason, I started getting comfortable with that specific aspect of my list, and then I was ready. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I had. Not only because the place is beautiful, but because I was there overcoming my fear. It was a new version of me, now enjoying the beauties and enjoying the pride that I had in myself of overcoming that fear after years. And that's your last step in the system. Once you recognize in the list the item you're most scared of, you gradually put yourself in contact with that item bit by bit. It has to be gradual. In my case, I was scared of the sea creatures, and I was just getting comfortable with the area, going to the same place over and over again. You have to come up with ways that you gradually put yourself into that environment that you're afraid of, and then suddenly you overcome naturally. So you see these boxes around me? So this is me conquering another fear. I always wanted to become a digital nomad, have no fixed address, and live on the road. But I was really scared about many things. Being constantly alone, not having friends. If I get sick, I don't know where to go, because depending on the region I am, I don't even know where the hospital is. All of these things were making me really scared. So I just followed the system again. I recognized the digital nomad was my goal. I created a list, and I recognized which items were making me more scared, and I came up with a plan to get comfortable gradually with those items. By the way, when I lived in Southeast Asia, I had to put the system again in practice with sardines. There was a place there where I could free dive with thousands of sardines, and that was scaring me a little bit, so I put the system again. Check it out here, this video, and see how that whole experience actually was.